See? There's nothing wrong out here. It's a beautiful day.
No. It only looks that way. Hey, you can't see it. You can't feel it. And you can't taste it. But it's here, right now, all around us. It's going through you like an X-ray, right into your cells. What do you think killed all these animals? Don't come. No.
You look like you fell off your bike.
Niece, I had a hard time finding you here.
How's Danny?
He's okay.
What about his eyes?
The doctor says that I'll be able to take you home in a couple of days.
Phone's working?
Are you kidding? There aren't going to be any phones.
They give me this ribbon to wear. But I haven't got any damn hair to put it into.
You look great.
Well, let's look at the credits. See who the research advisor was for this movie. The day after, 1983. Research advisor. Sometimes they call them consultants. Timothy, I believe that's a J. Hayes, MD. Alrighty then, so we have some kind of doctor being the research advisor for the film for the accuracy / realism of the movie. Alrighty then.
So you think you've got problems?
The troubled Fukushima nuclear power plant's operators are facing yet more criticism. On Friday, the Tokyo Electric Power Co. released this footage of a probe from one of the reactors. But Japan's nuclear watchdog said on Monday that radioactive water is seeping into the ocean, creating an emergency TEPCO is struggling to contain. The contaminated groundwater has breached an underground barrier and is rising towards the surface, says the nuclear regulator. TEPCO has been buffeted by criticism since the March 2011 earthquake and tsunami that wrecked the Fukushima plant. Masashi Goto, a retired nuclear engineer who worked on several TEPCO plants, says the company has not been proactive in resolving the contamination crisis. He says the current situation is more than TEPCO can handle. The regulatory task force overseeing Fukushima said new measures are needed to stop the water from flowing into the sea. Each day, TEPCO pumps out 400 tons of groundwater that flows in from the surrounding hills to try to stop it mixing with the highly irradiated water used to cool the reactors. TEPCO now admits that tainted water is reaching the sea, saying on Friday the radioactive discharge is out of control.
As they grapple with how to dismantle the shattered reactors at Fukushima, engineers are now facing a fresh emergency. The Fukushima plant sits smack in the middle of an underground aquifer. Deep beneath the ground, the site is rapidly being overwhelmed by water. Beneath the surface, water flows downhill and into the basement of the damaged reactor buildings. There it is contaminated with high levels of radiation. To stop the groundwater flowing on into the nearby ocean, engineers are building an underground barrier. But that is causing the groundwater level to rapidly rise. It's now so high the water will soon reach the surface. Then it will start flowing overground into the sea. This week the company that owns Fukushima, TEPCO, made this disturbing admission.
We understand that this water discharge is beyond our control, and we do not think the current situation is good.
Outside experts say it's now clear TEPCO is incapable of handling the cleanup at Fukushima. It's time for the Japanese government to step in. The situation is already beyond what TEPCO can handle, he says. If it were possible to take proper measures, they would have done it already. It's not as if TEPCO is refusing to do what they can. They're doing everything they can, but there are no perfect solutions. Even if the government does step in, it's not clear what it can do. The only other solution is to pump out the contaminated groundwater and put it in storage tanks. But after just 2 years, the site is already jammed with more than 1,000 giant tanks. Most of them are already full up. At least 400 tons of new water pours into the site every day, and it's going to continue for years and years. Fukushima's water crisis has only just begun. Rupert Wingfield.
Live, this is one for the record. I'm Diana, and today is August 7th, 2013. And here is your news updates for today. It is Wednesday, Hump Day. And here we go. We'll go into breaking news. BreakingNews.com. Earthquake. Magnitude 5.1, 42 kilometers of Bobone, Philippines, coming out of USGS 59 minutes ago. Also, Kaiser, Missouri received more than 4.5 inches of rain Wednesday, more than it typically sees in all of August. That's coming out of Breaking Weather. Heads up, be safe out there. Fire officials, 3 injured in California wildfires, some residents, deputies unable to evacuate. That's coming out of AP 2 minutes ago. Heads up. Moving on. The Extinction Protocol 2012 and beyond. China reports first case of H7N9 human-to-human transmission. Heads up. NASA confirms Sun's magnetic field is about to flip. Alrighty, moving on. The Watchers watching the world. Hurricane Henriette moving away from Hawaii. Also, SDO lunar transit, August 6, 2013. Fracking began in China's most dangerous earthquake zone. Spectacular filament eruption and Earth-directed CME, August 6, 2013. Heads up. More fireballs than in any other meteor shower. Perseid meteor shower peaks August 12th and 13th, 2013. So heads up on all that. I actually witnessed NASA launched a rocket, and it kind of like went towards the east. I don't know if it made its destination or not. Alrighty then, but I took some pictures, and hopefully I can upload it. It just shows like a little dot. By the time I could get my unmemory, it was full on my phone. Yes. Let's see here. Moving on. Later, stay tuned. You probably just saw from the 1983 movie, The Day After. They knew way long time ago that radiation was bad for you. Alright? That's why I put that out there. Wow. Watch that movie. You know, the scenes from it, the whole movie's great. You know, good effects, everything from back then. So, if you watch that movie and then you listen to them talk about how they don't know, and radiation won't hurt you, watch that movie. Think back on that movie. They've known for a long time. Alright, let's move on. ENE News, Energy News. Fukushima, Japan. Here it comes. Gunderson, no way to stop Fukushima's radioactive water going into the Pacific. Heads up. It will continue for at least 20 to 30 years. Also today's senior scientists, 100 times more strontium than cesium in water at Fukushima plant. Strontium gets into your bones. It changes the equation for Japanese fisheries. Not too concerned U.S. fish will be affected. Well, how? What do you mean? Not too concerned U.S. fish will be affected. I thought the bluefin, all the bluefin tuna tested positive for plutonium. Alright? Heads up. Just heads up. Nuclear expert. Water now at Fukushima plant has 3 times more cesium than Chernobyl's total release. That underscores the scale of this never-ending threat. New York Times. 400 tons of highly radioactive water going into Pacific each day from Fukushima plant, says TEPCO. Top nuclear regulator. This is a crisis. The crisis is that most of the mainstream media never reported on it. And this has been going on for over 800 days. Okay? That's the real crisis. Now they're starting to report on it because it, you know, I guess they figured out it might affect them too. And there's going to be no way to hide it. I already told you. They can't hide it with the when you start seeing public figures, you know, having heart attacks left and right. movie stars and athletes and whatever else, the cesium goes straight to the heart muscle, and whatever else is going on, and they can't hide it any longer, then they're going to start reporting on it. They must have thought it wouldn't affect them either. That's the crimes against humanity, and they never warned anybody. TEPCO official, this is extremely serious. We are unable to control radioactive water seeping out of Fukushima plant. Alrighty then. Let's see if there's anything under the sinkhole over there. US, Canada. Let's see what else is going on. National Geographic. 3 years for contamination to reach U.S. coast from Fukushima, scientists estimates. Really? Is that one is that when it came over? It didn't come over on the wind, did it? That wind hasn't gone from, it takes 3 years for the wind to blow across from Japan. The debris came over. There was a big barge on shore over there in Oregon or somewhere like that. Really? Alright, that's all they're really saying. That's it. I don't know. It's disgusting. But everyone will be judged. They're gonna all have to answer to someone, aren't they? Wow. Alrighty then. Take care. It is 3 days down. Wednesday hump day. Going into the eve of Friday. Hang in there. We're almost there. Be safe. Be prepared for anything. Alrighty then. And stay tuned. I'm running some more videos attached. That's why it comes out so late, because it takes a while to load everything up. Alright, take care. See you on the flip side tomorrow.
At 8:15 in the morning, the time the bomb was dropped. The bomb killed tens of thousands of people in an instant, 140,000 by the end of the year. The mayor of Hiroshima placed a list of the victims in the cenotaph. It contained the names of more than 5,800 people who died over the past year, or who are now known to have died because of the bombing. More than 280,000 people are now honored in the vault.
An atomic bomb steals the lives of innocent people. It permanently alters the lives of those who survive it. It stalks their bodies to the end of their days. The atomic bomb is the ultimate inhumane weapon, an absolute evil.
Matsui asked Japanese government officials to strengthen ties with other nations and lead the way toward abolishing nuclear weapons. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said Japanese have a duty as citizens of the only country to have come under attack by atomic bombs.
We have a responsibility to make a world without nuclear weapons.
But Japanese leaders have not been very cooperative. Delegates from more than 70 countries met in April at a nuclear non-proliferation treaty conference in Geneva. They agreed on a statement that called nuclear weapons inhumane. Those from Japan refused to sign. Still, survivors of the bombing in Hiroshima believe if they share their experiences, people will join their push for a world free of nuclear weapons. And they hope their stories will live on. Hiro Morita, NHK World, Hiroshima.
People in Japan will pause again on Friday. They and visitors from elsewhere will gather to remember the atomic bombing on the city of Nagasaki. We'll have live coverage of that memorial beginning at 10:30 a.m. Japan time.
Earlier in the program, we showed you how people in Japan commemorated a painful anniversary. Thousands gathered in Hiroshima to mark the day the U.S. military dropped an atomic bomb on the city. Later this week, Nagasaki will hold a service to remember the day it was bombed. Outside of these cities, though, awareness of the attacks is fading. Members of a civic group in Tokyo are trying to change that. NHK World's Miyuki Tokoi shows us how.
Music to keep the memories alive. Pianist Masakazu Uehata's improvisation was inspired not just by the atomic bombs, but by the piano itself. Made in the United States around 1920, this piano was in the city of Hiroshima when the bomb exploded. It has been preserved just the way it was, with shards of glass still embedded in its wooden surface.
It really makes me feel as if the piano still remembers what happened that day. I hope my performance can convey that memory to everyone in the audience.
A slideshow tells the story of the piano and its young owner. Akiko Kawamoto was a 19-year-old student living in Hiroshima. She was born in 1926 in Los Angeles, where her father was working at the time. The piano was bought to commemorate her birth. When Akiko was 6, the family returned to Japan together with the piano and settled in Hiroshima. Akiko loved playing the piano more than anything else. She often wrote about it in her diary. Akiko was about 1 kilometer from the epicenter of the explosion, working with the Student Mobilization Corps. She died a day later from radiation exposure. Akiko's parents left her bedroom exactly the way it was when she was alive, including the piano. But recently, Akiko's brother entrusted it to a peace group so that people could hear it actually being played. After hearing about the piano, Uehata was keen to bring it to Tokyo for the event on Saturday.
It was as though he was having a conversation with Akiko. I was thinking about the meaning of peace as I listened.
It's so easy to forget things, and I think Hiroshima is something that we should never forget. So we want to keep this event so that people would remember.
Uehata wants everyone who hears the message of peace to talk about it with others. He believes that if nobody talks, then nothing changes. Miyuki Tokoi, NHK World, Tokyo.
Many people are trying to preserve the memory of the tragedy in Hiroshima. Among them is a group of students who have recreated a virtual image of the city before it was destroyed. NHK World's Yuzo Ota reports.
Just 900 meters south of the dome marks Ground Zero. Before the explosion, government buildings stood everywhere. Those structures can now be seen as computer images made by high school students. For example, the former prefecture office building and the surrounding streets. The students are learning how to make computer graphics at an industrial high school in Hiroshima Prefecture. Their teacher, Katsushi Hasegawa, is supervising them. He wants to make sure that as the older generation dies, memories of the bombing will not go with them. So, he got the students involved in a documentary about Hiroshima before the explosion.
I was afraid that in the future fewer kids would know even less about the bomb. My idea was that if students replicated the old town, they would learn something.
Hasegawa and the students visited the city, looking for ideas to help them with their images. There's a memorial for the people who were killed. And a plaque notes the office. That one stood here.
Strolling about the area allowed me to understand the extent of the bomb damage, and that will help in producing our CG.
After returning to school, the students put their research to work, and the old buildings took shape to make the graphics look more real. They decided to include people doing everyday activities. To make sure they got everything just right, the students interviewed A-bomb survivors. They asked all kinds of questions about life before the attack.
服装に特徴とかはありますか？なるほどなるほど。帽子はね、全部後ろ側に向けてこう花が団子にこの丸いのつける紙を中へ隠して。
We learned a lot from the survivors. I want to make the images of people look as authentic as possible.
But it's not easy to depict people's age or gender, or recreate the clothing of the war era.
Women don't take long strides like that. We're trying to make the figures look realistic, not like statues.
The students never let up, keeping the people of the 1940s in mind. Finally, they finished their work. A man dressed in national uniform at the entrance to the prefecture office. On the street, a woman wearing loose work pants, typical of the era. The information from the survivors helped make the computer images more lifelike.
Before, I only knew that the atomic bomb was huge, that it destroyed the town, and many people died. But I want many people to learn what I came to know through this project.
Almost 7 decades after the atomic bombing, digital images simulate people as they went about their daily routine. And through this project, students get the clear idea of what was lost forever. Yuzo Ota in HK World, Hiroshima.
The next round of talks on the Trans-Pacific Partnership Free Trade Deal is approaching. Tariff cuts will be one of the key issues. Japanese officials say they will monitor what other nations do before clarifying their stance on rice and other farm products. The Japanese officials are holding an intensive preparatory session before the talks, which start on August 22nd in Brunei. Delegates are expected to submit a list indicating their national plans on tariffs for agricultural and industrial goods. Tokyo officials are dividing products into those for immediate tariff removal and for staged cuts over time. Discussion on a third category that includes rice, wheat and other food products will be shelved for the time being.
See? There's nothing wrong out here. It's a beautiful day.
No. It only looks that way. Hi. Hey. You can't see it. You
can't feel it. And you can't taste it. But it's here. Right now. All around us. It's going through you like an X-ray. Right into your cells. What do you think killed all these animals?